Baby, I address past and present scandals, common misconceptions and internet myths, wild viral moments, and old drama that still needs resolution. If it's wild, weird, or wrong, baby, we're pulling up the timeline, the document, and the receipts with some grown woman commentary. Because I address it all, you might as well just call me Miss Addy. Let's get into this mess.
Miss Addy here to address this mess and hopefully bring some clarity here. So everywhere you turn on social media and podcasts and barbershop comment sections, the internet is flooded with so-called relationship discourse. And lately, with the Shannon Sharpe situation stirring the pot, the debate around older men dating younger women has hit a boiling point. What's wild is how confidently some men claim that women their own age are damaged or used up, while conveniently ignoring the fact that they're the ones who did the damaging. This is not insight. This is some sort of gaslighting that they're trying to pass off as wisdom, and I'm just not going. In all these conversations, there's a dangerous undercurrent of triangulation happening. Young women are being propped up as the prize only when they can be used as weapons to invalidate older women. It's not about love or partnership. It's about power. It's about control. And it's about manufacturing a hierarchy where women are constantly competing for crumbs of male approval. Meanwhile, both age groups are being manipulated because whether she's 25 or 45, the story too often ends the same. The woman gets the short end of the stick emotionally, financially, and spiritually. And the whole time, the men aren't just dating, baby. They're training women to be emotional caretakers, validation machines, and mammy figures in disguise. The real gag is once they get through damaging you and it's done and over with, they move on, leaving women to clean up the mess they helped create, or simply just dying on you. Let's get into it because we need to talk about something. So listen, how do you go from young bride to hospice care wife to OnlyFans model? Yes, this is the tragic aftermath of marrying a Manosphere icon and the damages that it can do to you. So in the world of internet dating coaches and YouTube philosophers, a few names carry the controversial clout of Alan Roger Currie. See, he was bold, unapologetic, and beloved by a legion of men who felt misunderstood by modern dating standards. His philosophy: be direct, be selfish, be in control, and above all, don't settle down until you're older and wiser. Or, let's just be honest, until your back hurts and your hairline taps out, because that's exactly what he did. But what happens when that ideology meets real life? What happens when a woman takes a gamble on one of these aging alpha males and ends up with the bill, the baby, and the backlash? This is the tragic cautionary tale of Alan Roger Currie's young widow, a 26-year-old woman who married the dating coach at the peak of his decline. Their marriage lasted just 2 years before Alan passed away, leaving her with no life insurance, no home, no assets, and no plan. Just grief, a child, and an internet full of men laughing at her pain. When she married Alan in July of 2020, she likely thought she was entering a partnership built on maturity and maybe some sort of faux legacy. After all, he was in his mid-50s, well known, and had mentored thousands of men on how to, quote unquote, handle women. What could go wrong? Well, I'll tell you what could go wrong. Everything. Not only was this Alan's first marriage, which already should have told her something, but his entire philosophy was rooted in withholding emotional investment. She didn't marry a husband, she married a brand. And when that brand expired, so did her support system, if she ever really had one at all. Child, pour a little something in your tea today because this one here is going to sting. Today's docket features the late Alan Roger Currie, a man who made a career teaching other men how to avoid emotional maturity, responsibility, and apparently life insurance. Now, Alan wasn't just any old dating coach. He was the mouthpiece of the Manosphere, telling men to be aggressive, be selfish, and direct with women. But when he finally decided to settle down at the ripe old age of 56, he chose a beautiful, bright, 26-year-old woman who thought she was building a future. Instead, sis ended up with a funeral, a baby, and a GoFundMe, literally. So Alan wrote a book called Mode 1, which basically taught men how to dominate dating like it was a battlefield. No emotions, no commitment, just game. For decades, he told men to avoid relationships until they were older and ready. But what does ready look like when you're halfway in the grave? Now, for Manosphere standards, he was no scrub. As you see, he won Dating Coach of the Year that was presented to him by the Negro Manosphere. So he was a podcaster, speaker, an internet personality, all of that. He had tons of thousands of followers cheering him on as he roasted women for having standards, for aging, for being single moms, you name it. The irony, though, is that he became exactly what he told his audience to avoid: a dusty, a broke baby daddy, but with a mic and a brand. So let's break it all the way down. A hospice care wife is a woman who marries a man who is past his prime, spiritually unavailable, emotionally underdeveloped, and often physically declining. He's been out in the streets his whole life, and now when the streets have spit him out, he comes home looking for a nurse, a chef, a baby mama, and a retirement plan.
The opposite gender will bully you too. They will bully you too. In what way? You better act the way I want you to act, or you're not getting any of this. What'd you say? What'd you say? You better act right, or you're not getting none of this. And what do they want you to become? The puppy dog. That's what I call it. They're obedient puppy dog. And some guys, they give in to that. Here he is, Frank H.M.was. He's so good. Did you deposit that money in my checking account? You're such a good boy. Did you buy my clothes? You're such a good boy. Anybody raising their hand, you want to be a woman's obedient puppy dog? It's about backbone, fellas. I love pussy as much as the next guy. But I'm not going to sacrifice my sense of self-respect. I'm not going to sacrifice my sense of dignity just for some wet, warm pleasure around my dick. I'm the man, goddammit. And so are you. So let's get started. Last year, I mainly talked about my main book, Mode 1. I touched on this.
See, Girl a Lot thought she was marrying a provider, somebody that had a little finesse and all this kind of stuff, but baby girl just got a patient, okay? The Manosphere sold her a dream, and I'm not sure why she or any other woman would buy what the Manosphere is selling, but so many of them do. So while these men spend their youth dodging responsibility, they expect you to spend your youth wiping their tears and their asses. It's giving plantation and not the wealth building kind. And whole time, old girl gets exposed by Manosphere men. They're out here putting her pictures that, by the way, her OnlyFans was making $17 per photograph. Like, really, it's really sad. And I'm not about to knock any girl's hustle, especially when she has a kid to take care of. But just think about that. As a young, attractive black woman, she was supposed to be avoiding all of this kind of stuff. She was supposed to be avoiding the pole, avoiding doing things that would put her in sexual situations. She was supposed to be living mommy life. And in the tragic, untimely death of her husband, she should have been set up for, at least, a couple of years, let alone the rest of her life. But that's not what she got. And I just need women to know that every single L is always going to be yours to hold. This man got to live his life on his terms, the way that he wanted to. Hoe hopping, popping in and out of all different kinds of women. But what do you get, sis? You get a baby. You get to be a baby mama, because as much as people like to make the separation, oh, you're not a single mother if you're a widow, but you are. You're somebody's single mom. You're somebody's baby's mom. You do not have a husband. You do not have a provider. You do not have a protector. She's a statistic just like every other black woman that the Manosphere talks about. It's really a sad situation. But honey, listen, this is why my book, The Mammy DSM, exists, because far too many women are sacrificing their youth, their health, and their dreams for men who never intended to return the favor. You are not a nurse. You are not a rehab center. You are not here to raise no man and bury him with a smile. You deserve better. Your glow up doesn't come from sacrificing your life for his. Alan's legacy isn't wealth. It isn't protection. It's a broken woman with a broken bag. Don't let that be your story. Go download the Mammy DSM at grownmanvibes.com. Share this video with someone who needs a wake-up call. And if you want to keep Miss Addy sipping, spilling, and schooling, hit the Cash App at GWVIBER. Because, honey, this ain't charity. It's public education. And if you like my commentary, please click like, comment, and subscribe. And if you don't like it, you can still comment, you can still subscribe, because you're bound to return and find something that will entertain you or be of intellectual benefit. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.